You took my happiness, my joy and my word, you have to pay the ultimate price. This is a Chiamaka said to her sister after stabbing and killing her on her wedding day. Stay till the end of this video and see what the villager did to Chiamaka for her action. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the like button for videos like this. In a quiet town nestled between rustling hills and tall kola trees in eastern Nigeria, lived a family known for their beauty, grace, and pride. The Okafor family. They had 2 daughters, Chiamaka, the firstborn, and Oluebube, the younger one. To the people of the town, they were inseparable. Like twins born years apart. Chiamaka was calm and reserved. Oluebube was fire, bold, outspoken, and charming. Together, they were the envy of the village. But what many didn't know was that beneath their smiles, a silent war was brewing. It all started when a young man named Nonso returned from the city during the Christmas season. Handsome, wealthy, and soft-spoken, he had the attention of every unmarried woman in the village. But it was Chiamaka who caught his eye. They began seeing each other quietly, away from prying eyes. But in African homes, nothing stays hidden for long. Oluebube found out. At first, she said nothing. But her silence was not peace, it was a storm gathering in secret. As weeks passed, she began spending more time with Nonso. Laughing louder when he was around. Dressing brighter. And eventually, she took him. Yes. Nonso left Chiamaka and began courting Oluebube. Just like that. The betrayal was sharp. Like the sting of a wasp on the tongue. But Chiamaka, raised in the ways of restraint and dignity, said nothing. She simply stepped back and watched, holding her pain like fire in her chest. Months rolled by. Before long, the town was buzzing with wedding preparations. Nonso and Oluebube were getting married. The Okafor household was filled with activity. Tailors coming in and out, women frying meat in large pots, music echoing through the compound. The air smelled of jollof rice, spices, and secrets. But one heart was burning quietly. The day of the wedding arrived, the sun was high, the drums were loud, and guests came in hundreds, dressed in geli and lace, spraying money, dancing, singing, celebrating. The bride, Oluebube, was glowing in white. She danced into the crowd, her face shining, her hands waving. The groom stood tall beside her, smiling like a man who had won the world. But no one noticed Chiamaka, who stood at the edge of the compound, wearing a simple gown, her face cold as stone. She had helped plan this day. She had even cooked part of the food. She smiled when people asked her where the drinks were. But inside, something had broken. Not just because her sister took her man. Not just because her parents supported it. But because everyone pretended as if nothing had happened. As if she didn't exist. As if her pain didn't matter. Then it happened. Right in the middle of the celebration, just after the couple cut the cake and were heading to greet the elders, Chiamaka disappeared into the house. No one noticed at first. But when she came out again, she held something in her wrapper. Something long. Something sharp. And with a speed no one expected, she walked straight to her sister, and stabbed her, in the chest. In front of everyone. One moment the crowd was dancing. The next, there was silence. A scream. Blood. People froze. The drummers dropped their sticks. The old women fell to the ground. Chiamaka didn't run. She didn't speak. She simply stood there, looking at her sister on the floor, her white gown now red, her eyes wide in shock. It was as if she had been possessed. Not by a spirit, but by years of silence, heartbreak, betrayal, and bitterness. The wedding turned into a funeral. Oluebube was rushed to the hospital, but her wounds were too deep. She died that night. Chiamaka was taken by the police. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She only said, "Let the gods judge us both." The Okafor family was never the same. A home that once echoed with laughter became a house of whispers. The compound grew weeds. The paint peeled off the walls. Their name, once respected, became a warning. People in the village still talk about that day. About how envy, pride, and betrayal led to tragedy. But the elders say the story didn't start that year. They say it started long before, when the family began to favor one child over the other. When they allowed division to grow in secret. When they ignored pain and chose appearances over truth. Moral of the story ****. This story may sound like just another tragedy, but beneath it lies deep wisdom, especially in African culture where family is everything. Jealousy doesn't grow overnight, ****. It starts small, through neglect, comparison, favoritism, and silence. When we ignore the quiet sufferings of others, especially within our own homes, we create monsters not born, but made. And betrayal has a price, ****. The lesson here is clear: always address wounds before they become weapons. Love is not just a feeling, it's also responsibility. Responsibility to be honest, to be kind, and to never take the emotions of others for granted. Because sometimes, the people closest to us are the ones we hurt the most. And in the end, it's not always enemies that destroy a home, it's silence, envy, and pride.